why mornings feel less steady after 60, and what actually helps. Have you noticed this? You wake up, your feet touch the floor, and for just a few seconds, something feels off. Not pain, not dizziness like you're about to faint, just a quiet sense that your body hasn't caught up yet. For many people over 60, this is the moment they trust the least. That first walk to the bathroom, the hallway in low light, the kitchen before breakfast. What makes it unsettling isn't how strong it feels. It's how subtle it is. You don't fall. You don't black out. But you notice yourself moving a little slower, touching the wall, pausing before the next step. This isn't about weakness. It's not just getting old. And most of the time, it's not something your tests will ever flag. Your body is still trying to heal. It's just following a different rhythm in the morning now. I've seen this pattern again and again in people who live independently, sleep enough, eat reasonably well, and still feel unsteady when the day begins. So in this video, we're going to quietly look at 5 small morning adjustments. Nothing extreme that research has linked to feeling steadier after 60. You can decide for yourself whether any of this sounds familiar. But the last one is something many people overlook, even though it often makes the biggest difference. Number 5. Why breakfast still matters, even when you think you're eating. Most people assume this first point is obvious. That breakfast is breakfast, and if you eat something, it should be enough. But let me show you how this often looks in real life. Frank is 72. He lives alone in a quiet suburb. Most mornings, he wakes around 6:30, walks into the kitchen, pours his coffee, and grabs a slice of toast. That's it. He's not skipping breakfast. He's doing what he's done for years. And yet, he told me something familiar. His hands feel slightly shaky, his legs don't feel fully steady, and it takes a while before he feels normal. What's happening inside the body is quieter than most people expect. After a full night of sleep, blood sugar naturally runs a little lower. At the same time, your brain and muscles need steady fuel to coordinate balance and movement. When breakfast is mostly quick, carbohydrates like toast or juice, that fuel comes fast, then drops just as fast. In simple terms, it's like starting the morning with a quick spark instead of a steady flame. Over the past several years, studies that followed people over 65 have noticed something consistent. When a small amount of protein is included at breakfast, energy levels tend to stay more even, and the body often feels steadier earlier in the day. Not dramatically, not overnight, but enough to notice. This isn't about eating a big meal, and it's not about forcing food when you're not hungry. For many people, one small adjustment is enough. Within the first hour after waking, add a simple source of protein, 1 boiled egg, half a cup of Greek yogurt, or even a single tablespoon of natural peanut butter. That's it. You don't need to change everything you eat. You don't need to feel hungry. You're simply giving your body a slower, steadier source of fuel while it wakes up. For some older adults, this supports calmer movement, less morning shakiness, and a smoother start to the day. As you listen, just notice whether this sounds like your own mornings too. Because even when protein is present, there's another quiet habit that can undo its benefits, something many people do without realizing it. And that's where the next adjustment becomes important. Number 4, the sugar trap that feels healthy but often backfires. After 60, this next one catches many people by surprise, especially those who believe they're doing the right thing. Carol is 68. She still drives, lives in a small apartment, and likes to keep her mornings simple. When she wakes up, she goes straight to the kitchen, squeezes a fresh orange, and drinks the juice before anything else. It feels clean, light, healthy, but about 20 minutes later, something familiar shows up. Her head feels a little light. Her steps feel less certain. Not enough to scare her, just enough to slow her down. What's happening here isn't dramatic. After 60, the body handles sugar differently, especially first thing in the morning. Fruit juice, even fresh juice, delivers sugar quickly. Without fiber or protein to slow it down, blood sugar rises fast and then drops. In simple terms, the body gets a quick burst of energy, followed by a quiet dip, and that dip can show up as shakiness, fatigue, or a subtle loss of steadiness. In recent years, studies that followed adults over 60 have noticed this same pattern. When sugar is consumed on its own early in the day, energy tends to fluctuate more, especially later in the morning. This isn't about avoiding fruit, and it's not about cutting out foods you enjoy. It's about timing and pairing. One small adjustment often helps. Instead of drinking juice on an empty stomach, eat fruit in its whole form, an orange, berries, or an apple, and have it after a few bites of protein. That could be after an egg, yogurt, or even a small spoon of nut butter. Nothing extreme. Nothing complicated. By slowing how sugar enters the system, many people notice fewer energy dips and a steadier feeling as the morning unfolds. You may already be doing this without realizing it, or you may notice it tomorrow morning for the first time. And here's the part that connects to what comes next. Even when breakfast is balanced, there's another quiet morning habit, not food-related at all, that can make the body feel heavier and less steady before noon. That's what we'll look at next. Number 3. Why cold, dry mornings can feel heavier after 60. This one often gets overlooked because it feels so ordinary. Dennis is 75. He wakes up early, especially in the colder months. Before the sun is fully up, he steps out of bed, his feet touching a cool floor. He walks into the kitchen and pours a bowl of dry cereal. No rush. No problem, at least. That's what it seems like. But by mid-morning, Dennis notices something he can't quite explain. His body feels heavier. His legs feel a little slow. Not weak, just not fully ready. What's happening has less to do with strength and more to do with how the body wakes up after 60. In the morning, digestion and circulation start more slowly than they used to. When the first things the body meets are cold or dry cold air, cold floors, dry foods, it can take longer for everything to warm up and coordinate. In simple terms, it's like asking an old engine to run smoothly before it's had time to warm up. In recent years, researchers following people over 60 have noticed this same pattern. Warmth early in the day tends to support smoother digestion and steadier circulation, while cold or dry inputs can delay that settling in process. This isn't about avoiding certain foods, and it's not about turning breakfast into a complicated routine. For many people, one gentle adjustment is enough. Before your main breakfast, start with something warm. A cup of warm water, a light soup, or warm oatmeal instead of something dry. Even 5 to 10 minutes of warmth can help the body transition more smoothly into the day. You're not fixing anything. You're simply giving your system a chance to wake up gradually the way it often prefers to after 60. Some people notice they feel less heavy. Others notice their energy comes online a little earlier. As you listen, just notice how your own mornings feel, especially on colder days. Because even when food choices are right, and even when warmth is added, there's still another quiet factor that can affect steadiness more than most people realize. And that one has nothing to do with what you eat at all. Number 2, the morning water mistake that can affect balance after 60. This next one is easy to miss because it doesn't feel like a health habit at all. Ruth is 70. She lives in a one-story home and sleeps lightly. Most nights, she wakes once or twice to use the bathroom. Nothing unusual. By morning, she feels rested enough and gets out of bed. But when she stands up, there's a brief moment where everything feels slightly off. Not spinning, not scary. Just a subtle lightness that makes her pause before taking the next step. What's happening here often has to do with hydration, or more accurately, mild dehydration. Overnight, the body naturally loses fluid through breathing and normal processes. After 60, the thirst signal also becomes less reliable. By morning, blood volume can be a little lower than the body prefers, especially after interrupted sleep. In simple terms, there's just a bit less fluid helping blood move upward when you stand. In recent years, studies that followed adults over 60 have noticed that a little morning rehydration often supports steadier movement when standing up. Not as a treatment, just as basic support for how the body works. This isn't about chugging water, and it's not about special drinks. For many people, one small habit is enough. As soon as you wake up, before coffee or breakfast, drink 1 glass of water. Some people find it helpful to add a tiny pinch of salt or choose a light mineral water, especially if mornings tend to feel unsteady. Nothing extreme, just replacing what the body quietly lost overnight. Many older adults notice that standing feels a little easier and that first walk of the day feels calmer. You don't have to force this. You can simply notice what changes, if anything, over a few mornings. Because even when hydration is addressed, there's still one more quiet factor that often matters the most, something almost everyone does without thinking. And that's where the final adjustment begins. Number 1, the 60-second morning pause most people skip and why it matters after 60. This last one is the most overlooked because it doesn't look like a health habit at all. George is 74. He lives independently and prides himself on staying capable. When his alarm goes off, he does what he's always done. He sits up, stands, and starts moving right away. There's nothing reckless about it. It just feels efficient. But there's a moment he notices, especially on quieter mornings. When he stands and starts walking immediately, his body doesn't feel fully coordinated yet. His steps feel a little unsure. Not enough to worry him, just enough to make him slow down. What's happening here has nothing to do with strength. After 60, the systems that help you stay steady, blood pressure, balance signals, and the nervous system take a little longer to sync up after lying down. When movement starts too quickly, those systems haven't fully caught up yet. In simple terms, your body needs a brief moment to line things up before it moves. In recent years, researchers following adults over 60 have noticed this pattern. Giving the body a short pause before standing and walking often supports steadier balance and smoother blood pressure adjustments. Not as a fix, just as support for how the body now works. This isn't about moving slowly all day, and it's not about being cautious or afraid. For many people, one simple habit makes a difference. Before standing up fully in the morning, sit at the edge of the bed for about 60 to 90 seconds. Take 2 or 3 slow breaths. Let your body settle before you move. That's it. No equipment. No special exercises. Just a short pause. Many older adults notice that their first steps feel calmer and that the day starts with a greater sense of steadiness. You're not correcting a problem. You're respecting a timing change that comes with age. And when you look back at all 5 adjustments together, something important becomes clear. Aging doesn't break your body. It changes the rules. Every small morning choice is a vote for steadiness, independence, and confidence. If one of these adjustments felt familiar, you might try just one tomorrow morning and simply notice how your body responds. And if you're comfortable sharing, I'd love to hear. What part of your mornings has started to feel different after 60? Putting it all together, small mornings, real stability after 60. If you step back for a moment, you'll notice something important about everything we've talked about. None of these adjustments was dramatic. None required medication. No one asked you to push harder or try to be someone you're not. They were small, almost quiet. A bit steadier fuel in the morning. Being mindful of how sugar shows up early in the day. Adding warmth instead of starting cold. Replace the fluid your body lost overnight. And finally, giving yourself 60 seconds to let everything line up before you move. When you look at them together, a different picture of aging starts to emerge. Aging doesn't break your body. It changes the timing. After 60, your body still knows how to balance, how to adapt, how to protect you. It just needs a little more cooperation, especially in the morning. And every small choice you make is a vote. A vote for steadiness. A vote for independence. A vote for moving through your day with more confidence, not fear. You don't have to try all 5 things. You don't have to change your routine overnight. If even one of these adjustments felt familiar, you might choose to try just that one tomorrow morning or sometime this week and simply notice how your body responds. No pressure. No expectations. Just awareness. And if you're comfortable sharing, I'd really like to hear from you. What's one thing about your mornings that has changed since turning 60, something you didn't expect but now recognize? If videos like this help you feel more informed and less alone in the changes you're noticing, you're welcome to subscribe. We take things slowly here, and we focus on what actually fits real life after 60. Thank you for spending this time with me. And take care of yourself one steady morning at a time.